Mystic Spearhand is a flashy mix of both melee and magic. Being a hybrid vocation and exclusively available to the Arisen, it seems to bring the best offensive capabilities from both the fighter vocation and the mage vocation, giving it a mix of red and blue colors. In today's video, we're going to go over everything we know about the Mystic Spearhand for Dragon Dogma 2. It should be noted that at the time of making this video, we don't have any official names for core skills or regular skills. However, we do have a Meister's teaching and also the Meister himself that you'll be learning extra skills from, so we can cover that here in this video. So without further ado, let's look at what the Mystic Spearhand has to offer. Starting with the light attack, we can reasonably assume that it will be these sweeping motions with its duo blade. It seems to swap between the blades whenever going into and out of attacks, and the heavy attack appears to be this downward strike with the duo blade. At this time, these both seem purely melee focused, and there are additional skills that appear to build off of these attacks as well. The Mystic Spearhand also has this twirling action with its duo blade where it will spin its duo blade around itself, leaving some sides vulnerable but quickly covering it upon the next pass. If I had to take a guess as to how this would be activated, it seems that this will be activated via light attack and then holding the light attack button. However, this is purely speculation on my part and could easily be different in the final release. The next ability we'll cover, and also the ability that I think will be its vocation action, is this blink skill. Now at first I thought that this blink skill was built off of this magical bolt attack where you would fire a bolt at your opponent. It would then make the opponent glow with magic, also staggering them, and then you would use this same skill to then blink over once they've already been attacked. But in this recent footage, it appears that's not the case. If you slow the footage down, you can see that the Arisen actually glows with blue magic before a blink is done. The Arisen then immediately darts over to the enemy that he's targeting and also will teleport behind them if he's close enough. A great example of this is whenever he hops up to the Griffin, which is currently flying in midair. You can also see against this Chimera that he does not need to have the enemy charged with magic in order to blink over to them. It should be noted that this is a different skill than the physical charge ability that Mystic Spearhand has, where he simply just lowers his shoulder and makes a physical impact with the enemy, which can be seen against both the Chimera and also against this Drake in the Warfarer vocation. Both of these skills are great gap closers, and I'll be using them quite a lot using this vocation. We briefly touched on this magical bolt ability. However, it does appear that whenever it does make contact with the enemy, they are then stunned and charged with magic for a time. This is most clearly seen whenever the Arisen is fighting this pack of goblins using the Meister's teaching, which we'll get into in a second. When the bolt makes impact, it appears that the Arisen has the ability to either leave the bolt charged onto a single enemy, or he can detonate it to then stun multiple enemies at the same time. From here, the enemies seem to be staggered and stunned for quite a significant amount of time while the Arisen does some work on its buddies. Another thing to note is whenever the Arisen executes one of these glowing enemies, it appears that an explosion rings out, and also we can see that the Mystic Spearhand's duo blade is now glowing. And in another shot, we can see that the Arisen uses this glowing duo blade to then fire a magical shot at the Chimera, seemingly staggering it or at least changing its method of animation. If I had to take a guess as to what this is, I believe that the magic attack that results from a glowing duo blade would be a core skill that only is able to be activated once the duo blade is charged. However, again, pure speculation. It could also be the case that the Mystic Spearhand, when his duo blade is glowing, also gains a bit of magical attack to each of his regularly physical attacks, which would be a nice bonus in my book. And of course, the last skill that we see from the Mystic Spearhand is going to be this Telekinesis skill, where you can pick up items and also unalived enemies and then toss them at other enemies. While the enemies are being telekinetically grabbed, we can see that they are charging with blue magic, and they also make a small explosion whenever they collide with other enemies, and they are thrown fairly fast as well. So between all these skills and abilities, it clearly seems like Mystic Spearhand is going to be a very fast-paced, very offensively focused vocation that will require a lot of physical ability on your part and a lot of mastery of the controls. And for the very last ability that we see from the Mystic Spearhand, we have to talk about the Meister's teaching. This advanced skill is called Wild Fury, and this allows you to create a double out of magic. This will allow the Arisen to not only deal physical damage with his light light attacks and heavy attacks and core skills, but will also give him the ability to deal magic damage with the double. The clip I'm currently showing is the only footage that we have of the Wild Fury skill, and it appears as though it is perfectly mimicking the Arisen's attacks almost beat for beat. It is unknown if the magical double from the Wild Fury skill will have the ability to cast other skills along with the Arisen. However, it does appear that it has full ability to deal light attacks, heavy attacks, and also core skills from the Arisen's attacks. And that is everything we know about the Mystic Spearhand up to this point. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again real soon.